Hi, it's Anne here, and today's video is week 14 of Shop My Stash for 2023. So yeah, this will be the 14th video in this series for this year that I have done. This is all of last week's picks, and well, I guess I'm just touching this right now. This thing in particular, I got a bit of a shock last week and saw that it's now white, and it used to be clear, and like I said, it's starting to smell kind of funny, and I think it's even smelling worse now than last week. It's almost like vinegary smelling, so this is going. I am saying goodbye to this. I got this in March of 2021, so by my standards, that's not that old, but I mean, it's definitely past the, what is it, a 6-month date on this one? I can't even read it. Yeah, 6-month expiration date on the back of this. I'm kind of annoyed because that just happened, and I think it just has to do with I didn't close it properly the last time I used it. But at the same time, I'm not super mad because I didn't really enjoy this product. It's the ABH Brow Freeze, and it's supposed to be brow styling wax, and it was sort of like a clear, it was almost more like a gel feeling type product, and it just didn't have the hold that I was looking for from a brow gel. I'm one of those people that I'm like, I want it to be like freaking glue, and I want it to stay, and I want it to stick. I still haven't found my perfect product yet. I do feel like the NYX Thick It Stick It is close, but I do want to try the other NYX product that's like that to see if I like it better. But yeah, this guy is getting decluttered. I talked about decluttering this potentially. I'm not mad at it. I don't hate it enough just yet to declutter it, but I've been kind of thinking I might do a declutter either after sort of the Shop My Stash in the summertime, or maybe in the like at the end of the year, but sometime this year I'm contemplating doing a proper declutter, and this would be an item that would probably go when I do that declutter. And when I say proper declutter, it'll be like maybe 2 items per category. Like, it still won't be a lot, but it'll be a lot for me. This NARS concealer, this is the Soft Matte Concealer in Canal. While this is a bit of a dark shade for me, because it's kind of peachy, it actually works just fine as like an under eye corrector, essentially. The shade that I like for me better though is called Creme Brulee, but this works just fine, even though, yeah, it's a little deep for me right now. Yeah, that's about it. This is one of my favorite eyeliners. It's the Milani Stay Put eyeliner. I've had to sharpen it, and I'm realizing how much, like, I think this is like half the size of the full size. Like, it's definitely gone down by quite a bit. It's in the shade Hooked on Espresso. So it's like a deep brown shade. But yeah, everything else here was fine. Really enjoyed this blush. I think I talked about this at some point in some video. I've been filming a lot lately, which is good because I don't have very many videos up right now. I've been filming a whole lot, or posting a whole lot. I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, this Jelly Dough blusher in what was it called? Nut Jelly. It's kind of a funny name. I really enjoy this. I really need to wear this more often. I really like the texture of it. I like the way it looks on me. I think perhaps like last year when my hair was purple, this kind of maybe clashed a little bit, but now that my hair is not purple, I'm more comfortable wearing like warmer tones again. So it's kind of nice to be able to sort of explore that realm because I have a lot of warm tone makeup. And I really enjoy this blush, or bronzer. This is a really good bronzer. Highlight's fine. Everything else was just fine. So, actually I do want to talk about the palettes that I've been using. So I've talked about this a bunch. I still have this guy out. I still haven't used it much. I think I've used it twice. So I do want to keep it out a little bit longer this week. It's the longest palette I've had in my like cycle with like the least amount of shadows. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't know, it's a bit interesting. So I'll talk about this in a second. So this is the other palette that I've been playing with. I talked about in my last Shop My Stash that I was gonna pull a palette. I just hadn't picked one yet, but I had one in mind. This is the one that I had in mind, so I just went ahead and picked it. It's the Wild Nothing palette from ColourPop. This is what it looks like. This is a great everyday palette for me, and great for this time of year. It's springtime. Really enjoy it. Don't care for these 2 shades. I think they are Super Shock shades, but I just feel like they're a little awkward. I mean, they're nice shades, but I feel like, you see this one, I had to like dig into it to really get some product out of it, which is kind of annoying. I really like this shade. It's like a goldy green shade, but like a light green. I don't know, it's a really pretty unique shade. This shade's really light, actually. Kind of surprised me. Really enjoy like these 3 shades here. Great crease colors for me. Yeah, it's just an all-around really good palette. And it's really interesting to me that I'm really enjoying this palette. Really easy to use, really to grab it to like I would just take like this shade and this shade, or like this shade and this shade, and maybe add a little bit of this to deepen the corner, and I'm great for work. I have been working in the office a little bit more recently since I switched jobs, and it's really changed. I'm kind of circling back to how I sort of used to wear makeup kind of pre-pandemic. Pandemic time, I feel like I could be a bit more creative with my makeup. I was at home more. I never went on camera for work if I could help it. If I knew I was going to be on camera that day, I tried to make sure my makeup wasn't like really crazy. But yeah, I just feel like my makeup sort of approach is sort of circled back to the way it used to be pre-pandemic, where I maybe keep it a little bit more tame for my day-to-day. So it's kind of changed how I use things. And I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't really used this one a whole lot, because like the only 2 colors that I've really used, I've used these 3, but I just don't see myself using these on the regular for like a regular day. And then when I've had days where I'm like, oh, I want to play with that, I want to play with something else, like something else has sort of overtaken my reasoning for using like these 3 shades. In particular, this is one I've always had a challenge using. On camera, it's looking maybe a little bluer. It's looking a little closer to this color, but it's definitely more green in person, but it's still not super green. It's still like a bluey green. But yeah, I think that's why I struggle with this one a little bit more, because I'm like, I have to think about it a little bit more. And that's the other part of it too. I don't really have the time in the morning. Like this morning, it was like 10 minutes, gotta get ready, get together, get moving. Whereas with working from home, I feel like I can take longer to get ready, because, so for example, if I get up at, just say I get up at 7 and I'm working from home, I can take a whole half hour to like 7:30, flip on my camera and be ready to go by like 7:45. Whereas when I'm going to the office, I have to like change into like something nice, make sure it looks good. I have to like have my breakfast before I leave, because I don't like taking my breakfast with me. I have to make make lunch before I leave. Sometimes I make it the night before, but usually you still have to pull it all together. Yeah, like it's just, there's so many more steps, and then you have to make time for like commuting. So that's a whole lot of process. You guys know where I'm getting with that. So yeah, just really interesting to like think about how it changes things for me. I would really like to move to a job. My personal taste is that it's 100% remote, but that I have the option to go into the office if I want to. Like, it really depends on the job too, and the team, and the type of work that I'm doing. I think I've really benefited from being in the office, switching to a new job, and getting to know the team and talking about certain things. But kind of now that I've done that, I don't feel like I need to go in as much, even though I'm supposed to, and even though I do. Like, it just feels a little unnecessary. It was kind of useful at the beginning to build those connections and like talk things through like in person, but I feel like it's not really a priority anymore. And in my previous job, I mean, I was pretty much doing my job by myself, so for the most part, so it definitely was not necessary. So yeah, my personal preference is to eventually switch into something that's, like I said, I would prefer 100% remote, with the option to go to an office if I feel like it, or like, again, maybe once a month when there's like an event going on or something like that. But anyway, one can dream. I feel like I've been talking a whole lot, because this video is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to do a shop my stash, even though this is a shop my stash video. Doesn't that sound ridiculous? Because I'm actually going on vacation. So what I'm going to do is pull out the makeup that I think I'm going to take with me. I'm going to show a couple of options, and maybe you guys can help me pick what's a good idea, or give me some suggestions for taking makeup on my trip with me to Scotland. So I'm going to go pull some stuff, and I'll be right back. All right, so here is the makeup that I would say is like my non-negotiable makeup. So let me talk about the trip first. So it's me and my dad going on a road trip in Scotland, mostly northern Scotland. We will be in the city. We'll be in Glasgow for a couple days. We'll be in Edinburgh. We'll be in Aberdeen. So we will be in like habited places for a while. But we also will be like just driving around in the road, backcountry kind of style. We're not camping or anything. We are staying in like Airbnbs or bed and breakfasts, like everywhere. And I am just a person that will take makeup when I'm traveling, because I want to look human. Also, I probably will be vlogging. I'm going to try and vlog, so I want to look human a little bit when I travel. So this is what I'm calling sort of like my non-negotiables. These are the things that I definitely am taking, I think. There's one item in here that's a maybe. So this is the, what do you call it, primer that I'm going to take with me, and this is going to double as my SPF. This is the Artless Glow Base from Heimish. It's SPF 50. I will be taking like another regular SPF, but this will be primarily my face SPF. I've been to Scotland a number of times. The sun is fleeting at best. There are days where you get sun, but UV index is pretty low. I'm not super worried. I'm more worried about getting windburn than sunburn along the coast because it can get really windy and cold by the water. But yeah, I think this will be sufficient for me for a face SPF. The powder that I'm going to bring is the Fenty powder, mostly because the packaging, for two things on the packaging is broken. So I don't really care about it because it's already broken. It's got a nice little mirror, so the mirror I can use, and then it's got the little sponge applicator, which kind of just makes it easy, all-in-one type packaging for me to use. This concealer, the Benefit Boing Industrial Concealer, it's nice and small, and also if I'm real tired on my trip, this will help cover that up quite well. The one item I'm not 100% sure about taking is this one, just because it's kind of big. This was sort of going to be my like everyday concealer, like if I don't feel like I need this, and sort of like a foundation, because it's kind of a dual purpose type product. It's the Merit Complexion Stick in the shade Dune. This was in my project pan for the last quarter. There's a lot of product in it. I can roll it all the way up. There's more product in there. I'm 50-50 on bringing this piece, but I've included it here because I think I will. I'm just going to take one eyeliner with me. This is my black eyeliner that's in my project pan. It's from the brand Sugar. I'm going to take this mascara. I'm just going to take the one mascara. This is from Merit. The reason why I'm taking this one is it's a tubing mascara, and I feel like tubing mascaras give me the best of both worlds. I get the sort of, I wouldn't say this is waterproof, but it's like water resistant. It holds up pretty well, and again, a lot of water in the air in Scotland. But I don't want to bring a waterproof mascara because it's so hard to get waterproof mascara off. And again, I'm traveling with my dad. I don't want to be futzing around with makeup, taking my makeup off at night. I want it to be quick and easy to get off. A little different than, like, for example, when I was in Florida and I had like my own bathroom and my own schedule and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it just didn't bother me to use the waterproof makeup in Florida. So that's why I picked this Guy Tested, this one, and the, is it Heimish one that I have? And I decided I wanted to bring this one instead of the other one. The Heimish one was in my project pan for the last quarter. Brow product, I'm just going to take a brow pen. Again, I'm contemplating throwing in a brow gel, but I think I'm just going to take a brow pen. And again, this is the one that's in my project pan from the McQueen brand. So this is the My Strong Auto Eyebrow Pencil, and I don't know what shade it's in. I think medium brown or something like that. So yeah, that's in my project pan. And then this is my little eyelash curler, my little travel eyelash curler if I really want to downsize. I prefer to bring my full-size eyelash curler, and if I have space to do it, I do. But if I want to keep this small, I'm going to bring this guy. It'll depend on how I pack things. If I have room for the bigger one, I will bring the bigger one. But yeah, this guy's just like a little, it's a little awkward to use, and I tend to pinch my eyelid when I use this one because I'm not used to using it. And I feel like I can be a little bit faster with my regular one. But from a packing perspective, this is nice and small. So this is sort of like it's interesting. If I had to like pick makeup to wear, like this is my full face minimal makeup. Like I'd put all this on and I would put like a lip gloss on and then I'm good. Like I don't need anything else. I'm happy with that. However, this is me and I'm a makeup channel and a makeup person. So there's gonna be more. So let's move on. Okay, this is option 1. And this is what I was originally, oh, it's funny because I was originally leaning to option 2, but then I thought about it and like maybe I should not do that and I'll do this. So I've been kind of more leaning to this. This is what I call option 1, and it's more the cream type things, the finger type products. I do have a couple of brushes because it is nice to have a couple brushes, and I feel like I do work a little bit faster sometimes when I have brushes, particularly for the bronzer. But yeah, this is sort of like the finger makeup version and the easy makeup version. So I would bring my, and then also I double up on using project pan items. So these 2 items are in my project pan right now. So if I don't bring them, that's like 2 weeks where I won't be using Project Pan items. So the Tower 28 bronzer, the Rare Beauty blush, still no pan. This would be the highlight that I would bring, and this also doubles as an eyeshadow. It's the ColourPop Shadow and Flexitarian. This is a maybe. I might think of bringing something else instead of this, but this is kind of what I've pulled initially. But it would be something relative in type. And then this L'Oreal single eyeshadow in Amber Rush. So the alternate of maybe this would be, I think it's called Ice Latte or something. It's like a whiter color that would be sort of a replacement for this. Then the Milk Chalk Stick, because again, this can double as a highlight and an eyeshadow. And then the single Caviar Stick from Laura Mercier. What is the shade on this guy? I'm looking for the shade name, and I have it underneath the sticker. It's called Strapless. And then this brush, I can dual purpose this brush with both the bronzer and the blush, but I can just apply that blush with my fingers. The alternative to this blush would probably be the one that I just talked about. I would potentially bring this one instead. And the reason why I'd want to bring this one is because it's in my Project Pan. And then the brush would be for the Fenty foundation. So like in the morning, I would throw it on with the brush. And these are nice little short brushes. This is not a full-size brush. It's like a mini. What can I put it in comparison to? So like if you have the Wild Nothing palette, just to give you a size comparison, it's like barely bigger than the Wild Nothing palette. So it's shorter than a regular brush. So that's kind of option one, which I think I'm leaning towards. And then this is option number two. It was originally option number one because I always take this with me when I travel. Well, not always, but most of the time. This is like my travel face palette because I love the size of it. It's got blush, bronzer, and highlight. It's the Tarte Hamptons Weekender. My only downside of this is I feel like this highlight is not bright enough for me. It's a little deep. Fine in the summertime, but like right now when I'm super pale, it's maybe not the greatest. I'll just do a little swatch of all three of these shades. They're super pigmented as well, which is good and bad. Sometimes, like traveling, you can get a little overboard with them. So there's swatches of the blush, bronzer, and highlight. You can see that highlight's a little gold. It's a little, the tone of it's just not quite right for me. But you know, I make it work. So I would bring that. And then I'd like to bring this guy because it's got the 4 little eyeshadows in it. And then it also has a blush underneath. So if I want a different blush, but it's fairly similar to this blush. It's just brighter, but it's still just a pink blush. And then for another eyeshadow, I would just throw this in because, for example, I could use a bit of that bronzer to deepen the crease and then throw this on all over the lid. The reason why I'm kind of leaning away from this one is it's a lot of brushes. And I feel like it's a little more finicky than, for some reason, than the other products that are just like finger food. That's not really gonna work, but finger paints. Because I don't necessarily need to use a brush at all with the other items, whereas I can't really do this without a brush. So this would again be for the face powder, and then this is what I use for bronzer, highlight, and blush, and then a couple of eyeshadow brushes as well. I'm not totally like, I'm thinking of maybe bringing this guy anyway if it fits. But again, I don't really want to fiddle with doing my eyeshadow. I kind of want one and done looks. For example, like I might not even bring this guy. I have I can't think of the brand name. I have a couple single shadows that I could bring instead. But yeah, this would be kind of option two, but I think I'm leaning away from this. I'm curious to know what you guys think would be better, what you bring when you travel, if you're trying to be quote unquote minimal. I mean, I could take, if I were to go 100% minimal, I would take mascara and eyebrow product. Maybe this. That would be minimal, like super minimal, bringing makeup. And I would be very upset, and I would probably buy makeup on the trip. And we don't want to do that. So yeah, that is, I'll put them maybe side by side. Maybe I'll put there's option one with all the brushes. And then, well, maybe we'll throw this brush in the middle because it kind of goes with both. And then here is option two. I feel like option two just might be smaller, might be easier to like manage, quicker. I don't know. Thoughts? Door number 1, door number 2. The rest of it's definitely coming with me, I think, or at least some version of the rest of it. I'm pretty sure I've nailed down the face, like the base products that I want to bring, and then this is where the variety comes in, or the playing comes in. So yeah, that's going to be this week's Shop My Stash. I feel like this is going to be a long video. I feel like I've been yakking a lot this video. But yeah, so you won't see a Shop My Stash from me in the next couple of weeks after this one. But I have been filming like a crazy person to get a bunch of videos done and up for the weeks that I'm away, or I just won't get around to, like, I might be back, but there's no way I'm going to get a video up. So yeah, I'm hoping to have at least a couple of videos a week for the next few weeks. And that will take me into when I get back. And then I'll be here again. And then we can do another Shop My Stash when I get back. So yeah, if you like this video, feel free to give it the little thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye!